So good. Uh, so it's, I will say good afternoon to the people that are here in Nigeria and to others that are from other locations. I will say good day to you because I believe some people, the people join these things from different parts of the world. So once again, thank you very much for being here. I will just give me a second. Yes. So we'll just give a couple of minutes for everybody to join in here. So I hope us tell others to please join us. Once again, thank you very much for being here. Uh, as it is. So, Mr. Alex Martin, thank you very much. Ambassador was here 1 minute ago. We can't find the ambassador's gone off. So please, let's just give a couple of minutes and then we will kick off with the session. Okay. Okay. Good, good, good. Mr. Alex Martin, how are you, sir? Mr. Alex Martin, how are you, sir? Okay. Right. Okay. Um, Labake, do you want to speak with Merlin? Because I put it on the group already. Please allow people come in. Allow people come in. Admit. Allow people come in. Okay, Merlin, how are you? Merlin, how are you? How
Prof, good morning. Good morning.
are
Thank you
you
for
doing?
having us today.
You're the one that is having us, so it's my pleasure to be here.
Yes,
We don't
just
have.
a
I think
little
we
more.
only have one or two persons here. Ambassador
Yes,
came in a
they are
minute ago,
limited.
then left. I don't know whether you can help us just nudge people to join us on this call.
Yes, from the institute. In talks with the research fellows. They will join in a minute.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's fine. right? Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Alex Button. Don, thank you very much for being here. And Mr. Latif Aremu, thank you very much also for being here. Philippa Ian, thank you very much for being here also. Thank you everyone for taking the time out of your very busy schedules to be here. So that's fine. It's not a problem. I will start about now. I'll just give another 1 or 2 minutes, right, so that I can get on very quickly with this. All right. Thank you. Okay. Right. All right. So if you don't mind, in the chat room, you can please, if you do not mind, in the chat room, you can introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? I don't want to have to delay the people that are here already, so I'm just going to go ahead in the next 1 or 2 minutes. So please, Mr. Philippa Iang, Mr. Latif, Don, if you can switch on your mic if you want, or you can put it in the chat room. Who are you? What do you do? And do you have any specific expectations for this particular session? Today's session, I'm going to do it very quickly. I'm going to ensure that I don't take too much time because, once again, I know that most people are doing at work or are doing one very important thing or the other. Okay. Most people are at work or they're doing something very important or the other. So I'm not going to take too much of your time. I will make my session very quick, very precise, and extremely straight to the point. But if you don't mind, once again, can you? I have Mr. Taiwo that is also coming in. If you don't mind, 1 or 2 people, can you quickly introduce yourselves? Whereabouts are you coming from? What organization do you represent in here today? Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Okay. I only need from 1 or 2 people and I will jump ahead. So you can either speak or you can type it in the chat room. Thank you very much, Alice, for joining. Thank you, Philippa, Mr. Latif, Mr. Alex, and all the others that have joined this
Okay, good
particular
morning.
session. Thank
Can I
you.
go
Thank you very
first?
much. Yes, please. I'm definitely happy for you to go first.
I'm not sure what's going on with my camera. It's I've been
Oh,
trying
it's
to get it
fine.
to come on, but it's
It's
not
okay.
coming on. But I'm 100% here. Hi everyone. My name is Marlene Akpofure. I work with the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. I am the PR officer, PR/protocol officer in the Office of the Director General. So I manage most of the public relations that emanate from his office. And then I ensure that our dignitaries, guests, diplomats, and elder statesmen receive maximum attention whenever they come to pay courtesy visits or official visits to the NIIA or to the Office of the Director General. I'm a lawyer by training, but right now, this is what I do. So nice to introduce myself to everybody. I'm glad to be here.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Marilyn. We appreciate that. Definitely great having you here. Because of our time, I don't know, can I get one more person, anybody at all on the call to just give a quick introduction? Who are you? What do you do? And if there's any specific expectation for this session, and I'm going to go straight into it. Okay. Anybody? And I have just one more person, right? Just one more person. And we will go straight into the session. Anybody? Just one more person, and we will go straight into the session. Anybody? Mr. Latif.
My
Alice,
name is
please go ahead and speak. Thank you very much, Alice. Alice, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Go ahead.
My name is Alice Ade. I'm a research fellow at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. I belong to
Right.
the Division of International Law.
Right. Thank you, Alice. I also have Philippa here, who also works with the Institute. So, human rights law, global standards, and governance frameworks. I'm sure you'll find this, Philippa, extremely interesting, and Alice too, as it is. All right. So let me get on with this. I want to do it in about 30, 40 minutes, very quickly. So, Dr. Orlando Olumide Odejide, and I am the managing partner of A4S. And it's our pleasure to be doing this with the Institute in itself. So once again, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. And I think these topics and these issues are like a big deal. I think these topics and these issues they're a big deal, and it is good that we all take them into consideration. So I'm going to encourage everybody, just like Philippa already did some typing into the chat room. I'm going to encourage everybody to please just type your thoughts as I'm going through some of these things and as I'm sharing my thoughts and my opinion. Share your questions, share your thoughts, share your opinion, share your disagreements, share whatever it is in the chat room so that it wouldn't just be me giving you from one perspective. I can also get from every other person that is here. So please help me encourage everybody, even in the chat room. I've got some of my colleagues here. I have Labake here, I have Philip here, I have Olaoluwa and a couple of my other colleagues all in here. So once again, thank you very much for being here, everybody. We appreciate you, Lesami and Starkey and every other person that is in the room as we speak. I'll jump straight into this once again. First is that a lot of people don't even know about ISO standards. So I'm going to talk about the ISO standards that exist both for SDG and also for ESG. And it's our pleasure to be able to associate with the institute. We see all the great work that the institute is doing. I'm a member of the institute myself. And once again, it's just great that we even have a relationship with the institute. And a big thank you to the Director General, Professor Augusta Osage, and Professor Ephraim Ubi, who worked together with Merlin and also Mr. Peter and Imana to ensure that this particular session will happen. Thank you very much to all of you for the great work that you're doing. And thank you for the opportunity to work with you on this. Even if you look at the places that I've highlighted, there is a direct link between what we're doing today and even the vision, the mission, and the ethos of the institute in itself. So once again, I've spent quite a bit of time even on the website of the institute in getting ready for this, and I know that the institute would only get better even in the years to come. So this is who we are, our organization. This is who we are. We're an organization that is primarily focused on ISO standards in different areas of work. So that's what we do. We're very focused on ISO standards in different parts of the things that we're doing. Either it's in quality, health and safety, or business governance, risk and compliance, or IT governance, risk and compliance, and even when it comes to sustainability. So really, we want to be the number one brand in Africa when it comes to ISO standards, and that's our specialization as an organization. The inclusion and the adoption of ISO standards in different functions, different industries, and even in different areas of work. I lead the business of the organization. I've got one of my colleagues in Ghana. I've got one of my other colleagues in Nigeria who we work together, and we've got a massive team in each of these locations that we work with to ensure that we deliver value to our clients. I'll share the presentation when I'm done. You will see a lot of the work that we have done, a lot of the writing that we've put together. A lot of them are on academia, and some of them are even on our company website. You would also see on YouTube many things. So for the past, I think, since the year 2023, we've been going through different SDGs, and we've been having webinars. Even as I'm having this session, we're having something on Goal 13, even as we speak simultaneously. And we have some external speakers. We even have somebody from the federal government of Nigeria that is speaking about what Nigeria is doing with regards to climate change, climate action, climate adaptation, and every other thing that is related. We work for different organizations. This is a partial list of our clients in between Nigeria, Ghana, and even in Nairobi, Kenya, and different parts of the world. And indeed, it's our pleasure to be here. So the crux of today, I'm going to be speaking to you about these two standards very quickly. I'm going to make it very quick. There's one that is 53001, which is an international standard. In fact, the final version of that standard is not out to the public. There's a supporting document, which is also called the 53002, which is available. I'll point you to that website. And there are other supporting documents from ISO that supports the SDGs, right? How can countries, individuals, organizations, both private and public, and even non-governmental organizations, what is the ISO standard that they can adopt that will help them significantly in the achievement of the United Nations SDGs? That's very important. There's also another document, which is the IWA 48, and I was part of the global community that contributed to the development of this particular standard. It's also a free documentation. I'll also point you to where you can get it from, and it lays the I'll say like it lays the foundation and puts things right when it comes to ESG. It corrects corrects all the available thoughts and opinion with regards to ESG, and we're going to go through this also very quickly today. I mean, if you don't know about SDG, then you're probably living under a rock, and you probably want to open a browser and go look at what exactly are SDGs. What are SDGs? How many of them exist? What is the 2030 agenda for sustainable development? So you should go look at that, and that's why I've included some of these screenshots so that it's easy for people to actually go through and go to these websites in themselves, even after this particular session that we are having. So you can go to look at the 2030 agenda, and all the countries of the world are meant to be working towards this particular agenda. This agenda is not for one person, it's not for one organization. All the countries of the world are meant to be working towards this particular thing, and this is important. And it is essential. There's even a documentation that is available. You will find this document online. Is the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And I think every country, every state, the researchers that work within NIIA, and every other person that has any business at all to do with governance and diplomacy and international affairs and national development. I think everybody needs to look at these documents and really review them relative to where we are. There are also many things on the United Nations website that speak about the 17 goals in here. And once again, these are the 17 goals. And my personal opinion is that every country does not have a lot to do. All they need to do is to ensure that they try to achieve these 17 goals in their country. That's my opinion. A country does not need a new manifesto. There's no country of the world that really should be worried about any other thing about more than these 17 goals, because the goals are like a big deal. So if you look at the goals, I mean, what is the country trying to achieve? What is the government of a country? What exactly are they trying to achieve? If not that they want to reduce poverty, being critical, they want to ensure that they reduce hunger, that there is good health and well-being, that there is excellent education for their citizens, that there is gender equality, that there's clean water and sanitation, and there's affordable and clean energy. These are the things that every country should be looking to do. This is not something for Nigeria or for Ghana. This is global. every country at the national level and even tied to its states and its provinces, however the country is structured. And it doesn't matter whether the country is a first world country or is a developing country in like Nigeria or like some of the nations in Africa. The 17 goals are the key things we're meant to be pursuing. The 17 goals are the key things we should be worried about. The 17 goals are the things that we're meant to be pursuing as a nation. And I've had all sorts of sessions in the past. So we will share some of the links. My colleagues will put some of these links even in the chat room. And as I said, I will share the slides after this meeting so that you can also go back to look at some of the extensive things that we've done. This year, I did something for women specifically. Early in the year, I did the general thing, and even last year, I had these sessions, and all of them about SDGs. And you can go onto YouTube and you will find some of these things. And as I said, my colleagues will share these links in the chat room, right? Once again, what should a country be worried about? These are, from my perspective, I put these 10 things together. This is what you should be worried about. This is what the government should be worried about. This is what the government of every country in the world should be pursuing. Maybe one of you that are on the call, you can also tell me something else. You can also guide me in the chat room. But these are the things that countries should worry about. These are the things that the state government should be worried about. It's about the economy. It's about security of life and property. It's about education, about health. It's about transportation and infrastructure. It's about justice and the rule of law. It's about power. It's about water. It's about food. It's about housing and accommodation. This morning, I've been watching, and it's still open in my background, Arise TV, where they said, when they were showing the Kunjung Will, and they said that, well, Nigeria has stabilized its economy, and that's a very questionable thing to say in terms of stability, but said that now we also have to move from stability to growth. So there are many conversations around that. I was also listening to something yesterday. Somebody said that, you can say that the economy is increasing or expanding, but is the life of the common man, is it getting better? Right, so the people in the country, their life, is it getting better in itself? So once again, Africa tried to develop like a version of the SDG. Right, this report is also available online for researchers. But just writing a document without any form, of implementation and execution of the document is completely it's just halfway. Africa has this document. The document in itself was written about in the year 2015. So if you look at 2015 till now, the document was produced how many years ago? About 10 years ago. But what is the monitoring, the execution, the educational perspective to this whole document? A lot of people don't even know that this document in itself does exist. So just writing a document to say that, this is where Africa should be, and not putting any kind of framework around it is not good enough. And as at that time when they were writing it, they were projecting 50 years forward. And this document in itself, I can even tell you, as at today, is probably 10 years after, is outdated, needs to be revamped. There are many areas in there that is just not in tandem with the current realities in Africa as it is. As part of this work, I'm also a researcher with the Lead City University along these areas of work. So you will see, I had to look at the manifesto from different people. So I've looked at the one for this for the present administration in Nigeria, and if you look at their manifesto, everything there is really tied to SDGs. Everything here indeed is tied to SDGs. I've looked at the one that one of the aspirants also put together to say, this is my plan for Nigeria. Well, there's nothing really new here. Everything here is also tied to the SDGs. And that's why I say that we don't need new manifestos, we don't need new promises, we don't need new documents, new strategy documents. All the countries of the world, Nigeria, Ghana, every country in the world just needs to focus on one thing and one thing alone. Implement SDGs at the national and at the state or provincial levels. Ensure that SDG is being appropriately implemented, because the SDGs have been written appropriately. Now, I might have a problem with the sequence of the SDGs, but that's conversation for another day. Because in Africa, I mean, those SDGs they need to be prioritized based on the issues and the challenges that we have in Africa. Nigeria also has this document, and these are freely available documents on the internet. Once again, if you look at the things that are here, they're primarily tied to the SDGs. There's nothing that is really new, that is special, that is different from what it is that we've always known. So my cry is that as a nation, nationally, and even at the state level, and this applies across the whole of Africa, let us focus on the SDGs. Let's look at the SDGs clearly. Let's interpret it. Let's expand it. Let's execute it at the national and even at the state levels in a country like Nigeria. This is our agenda, 2050 agenda, 25 years from now. Everything here pretty much, once again, is tied to the SDGs. Look at this one, Vision 2057. Once again, everything here is tied to, this is for the Republic of Ghana. Everything here is tied to the SDGs. We have decent operations in Ghana, so that's why everything I always say, I'm always tending and dovetailing into Ghana as a country. So I put a statement here, everybody. I remember one of the sessions I was having, I was saying to somebody that how many people can write the 17 SDG goals? How many people can write it out? I'm one of those people that can write it out. And some people said, oh, that they can actually, which is good. It's not like there's any gift for anybody that can write it out, but it's just good to kind of know these things. It's not like you're going to get a certificate simply because you can write it out in itself. And if you look at what it is that I put in here, I said bad governance. And I think that's the problem. The bane of Africa is the root of all national states and local evil. And that's why I think in Africa, or for Africa, number 16 should be number one. My personal opinion is number 16 should be number one. I also think that as Africa, we should scrap number one, right? Because the effect, and there are many reports to that that supports that the effect of poverty shows up, poverty indicators, right? That and there's everybody, you can go online, and Philip Labaka, you can put the link in the chat room for me. There is the Global Poverty Index report. The effect of poverty, the indicators of poverty is actually in number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7. When you're poor is when you now see the real effect of number 2. So I don't think number 1 is really useful. And I think for Africa, very much unlike Europe and some of the advanced world, that's why they put peace, justice, and strong institutions in number 16. These things in reality should be number 1, because bad governance is the root of all evil as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so number 16 should be number 1. It's only when you've gotten number 16 right that you can then start to focus specifically on number 2, number 3, number 4, 5, 6, and all the other ones. And I think you should either move number 1 to where 16 is, because at the end of the day, it's when you've done well with number 2 all the way to number 15 that you will then see a reduction in poverty for the country in itself. Okay, and for Africa, the reason why we're poor is tied to bad governance, number 1, and we see the effect and the impact on number 2, number 3. Once again, in the chat room, you can disagree with me, you can agree with me. I'm just sharing my thoughts and my opinion in this regard. And I like to read from everybody in the chat room relative to this. The other thing I tell people is that there's an entity of the government that is in charge of all these things. So there's got to be some kind of national mapping between the SDGs and the entity that is in charge, because there's a ministry, there's an agency of the government whose job, there's a document that we have, and if you reach out to us, we'll share the document with you, both for Ghana and Nigeria, that identifies the government of the entities of the government that is in charge of addressing the 17 goals. There is an entity of the government that is involved with addressing this each of these 17 goals and in itself. And this is a scorecard that I think that is important to say who's in charge of this goal, right? And what exactly have they done? How can we rate them? And the SDG office in both at the national and even in Lagos State where I reside, and I know a lot of states in the country have an active SDG office, we can then say that how is the SDG office in Lagos and at the national level interacting with the agency that is in charge, and what is the overall rating? All right. I'm very mindful of my time. Once again, this is the entity at the national level, and I think they're doing a lot. But you realize that not number 1 to 16, none of them is their responsibility. The only thing they can do is around number 17. They're not the ones in charge of food. They're not the ones in charge of health. They're not the ones in charge of education. They're not the ones in charge of equality. They can only work with the entities that are in charge of each of these things to ensure that those things are appropriately done, to ensure that they're writing their own monitoring and evaluation reports, and that they're also providing their own advisory thoughts and opinion with regards to each of the goals. So that is a big deal. And once again, we have a report around column 2. But the SDG office, both in Abuja and each of the states, there's not a lot they can do. The real thing that they can do is around number 17, because from number 1 all the way to number 16 is owned by an entity of the government in itself. Once again, I mean, you can go on their website and then you will find this. And that's why, once again, I've included these screenshots so you can see the dashboards for Nigeria. The data sets that they've used for some of these things are available. Some of them might be questionable. Some of them might be skewed, so to speak, but there's some kind of report card as it is. Can we say that our overall score is 54? I'm not sure that if you live in Nigeria, if you work in retail, or you're a security guard, or you're the driver, or you're a teacher in a public school or in a private school, I'm not sure if you're a nurse in the country that you're going to score the country high when it comes to some of these things. So once again, these reports are available on this website. You can go look at these things, and I'll share the slides immediately we finish this particular meeting. They said that our poverty, is decreasing. I mean, once again, this is just an opinion. This is just an opinion from a lot of people from the United Nations and the data sets that they have used. Once again, you should go on the streets of the country. You should go around the whole country and really check whether these things are correct. Because if you say, for example, right, hunger and good health and well-being, and even education, that these things are stagnating. I don't think they're stagnating. I'm not even sure you can prove to me that these things are really stagnating. And if you come and then you tell me that clean water and sanitation are moderately improving across the whole country, once again, please share your thoughts and your opinion in the chat room. Do you really think this is our reality? Do you agree with me that this is the reality that the common man is experiencing? That the driver of a bus, of a public bus, the Okada driver, if you live in Lagos, that the driver of Mara, do you really think that this is their reality? And that's why some of these data sets that we're using for some of these things, they're sometimes interesting or questionable as it is. There's also this brilliant report. I enjoin everybody who's interested in SDGs to go to look at this report. It's a progress report, and it's a fairly recent report. It's less than 1 year as it is. It's a fairly recent report. that is available, and I hope everybody can hear me clearly. It's a fairly recent report, so I enjoin everybody to please go download the report and have a look at it, and should I say further educate yourself when it comes to SDGs. What exactly are they? Is this Dr. Orlando says that the whole country should not be worried, should focus primarily on both at the national, at the state level, ensuring that they implement and execute the SDGs. Dr. Orlando is also saying we should replace number 6 with number 1 with number 16 and move number 16 to number 1. Now, bad governance is the root of all national, state, and even local evil. Is that correct? Is that complete? Is that a true statement as it is in here? So if you allow me, I will say that we should, maybe I'll write it here, that or for Nigeria or for Africa, we should exchange goal 16 with goal 1. That's what I'm saying. We should exchange goal 16 with goal 1. That's precisely my point. And that there is no point to talking about trying to get anything done in Africa if you don't address the root cause of all these challenges. And the root cause is really about governance. Once again, it would be nice to get the thoughts and the opinion. I think the government in Africa, African governments, should take should I say deliberate steps to achieve the SDGs. All right. So once again, these are my thoughts and these are my opinion. You don't have to necessarily agree. I might be wrong. I'm just sharing what it is that I think, and you can easily disagree with some of the things that I am saying, and I'm happy even if you disagree with them. This is not the word of God. This is me just rendering my thoughts and my opinion relative to SDGs in themselves. I'll move on very quickly. As I said, Lagos State in themselves also have quite a bit of work that they have done. The Lagos State in itself has a bit of work that they have done relative to these SDGs. In fact, I think last year Lagos State has got this thing called VLR. Lagos State has done some kind of VLR. I'm not sure they've uploaded it yet, but Lagos State, I can tell you, they did this. They did this voluntary local review where you get like some kind of independent review of what you're doing relative to the SDGs in themselves, right? So let me quickly, so at the beginning of this session, for the people who are getting here a bit late, at the beginning of this session, I said, this is where we come in. This is where we come in. There's an ISO standard, right? I have a copy of it. It's not been globally released, but there's a draft version of that standard. 53001, and there is a set of guidelines relative to that document that is available for free download. So I'm going to quickly speak about this, and I'm also going to speak about the global document around ESG, and I am going to round this particular session up. And I'm hoping that people who have attended will get some value from this, and that would also be able to have next steps as it is. So if you come in here, and I'm going to share this very quickly, everybody. So this document is a publicly available document. You can go online. It's the guideline for the implementation and the adoption of SDGs, but this is coming from the ISO organization, from the standard, the standards organization, the international organization that drives standardization. So they have a document. The 5001 is not yet out to the public, but this one is out, and they've even made it a free document. So you can go online, you can download it. It's a free document that is available that provides guidelines on how, either at the organizational level or at the local government level or at the state level or even at the national level, that which you can drive SDG. How can you support these SDG in your own organization? And I'll put some sort of summary here. I can't go through this now, and that's why I've shared with you. I've shared with you all the document in itself. This is the outline from the document. There's not enough time, but I've done this already online. We will share the slides with you, and you can go on YouTube and you'll find, and I hope my colleagues can also drop the links in the chat room. You will find some of the things that we have done prior to now as an organization, and different trainings and different classes that we have had in the past. So you will definitely get quite a bit of value from that in itself. So you can go check it. I wish I had the time so that I can go deeply into this. I wish I had the time so that I can show you how you should, as an organization, at the national, local, and at the state or provincial level, whatever works in your country, how you can support and contribute to the SDGs in themselves. So this is important. This is essential. And this is definitely something that I enjoin all of us to look at in itself. So I won't go through this. As I said, I will share the slides with you. Time is of essence. I can't really do this because I want to finish this in a couple of minutes. But please go online. Look at our videos, download this particular document in itself, download this particular document, and this is the outline of the document. So you will see, right? How do we manage all our external and internal issues depending on the entity that is adopting this? How do we manage all our interested parties? How do we drive innovation? How do we drive human rights? How do we drive equity and justice? How do we put together an appropriate national, state, and even local government governance and oversight, should I say, capabilities? What exactly are the legal requirements? What are the objectives? How do we drive changes around these things? How is it that the state government or a national government should be driving? Number 12, are there other things that you can see around the data and the impacts? It's an extensive thing. How do we resolve conflicts? How do we ensure that relative to these SDGs at the local, at the state, and even at the international level, that we are continually improving? How are we resolving conflicts within the interested parties? This is a big deal. It's a big deal. And I'm hoping in the future we will get an opportunity to extensively deal with these things as it is. Let me quickly go to the next one. And the next side of this work is the ESG side. And ESG is a big conversation. It's also a very confusing conversation. And I say this all the time. And if you can see my screen, I say that what exactly what an organization is trying to do. People call us all the time and they say, I want an ESG report. I hear that all the time. People say, oh, I want an ESG report. People say this all the time. And my question is always very simple. Have you implemented the 3 standards that make up ESG? The acronym ESG stands for something. It is the environment, it is social responsibility, and it's the governance of organizations. And there are 3 specific ISO standards for that. So if you say you're doing ESG as an organization, compulsorily you must implement these standards, or at the very least some aspects of these 3 standards. If you haven't done that, how are you going to then say that you have an ESG report? And that's why I'm always asking that what exactly do people want? Do they want to do real ESG, or they want the appearance of ESG? If you have an ESG report, then it is just a plastic, or what I would like to say is just a superficial report. Right? That's why people also talk about greenwashing. And we've done a lot of writing, and one of my colleagues will probably drop a link in the chat room around what we have done around greenwashing, because people want the appearance of sustainability. They do not really want sustainability. That's what people want, the appearance of sustainability, not real sustainability. Once again, I have done something on YouTube. My colleagues could also share this in the chat room, and it's in the slides already. So at some point in time, when I in my slides, you can have a look at it, and we're happy to share that with you, with everybody that is here. It's about the implementation and the adoption of these three standards: the standards for environmental management, for social responsibility, and for governance, right? And this document from ISO is also available. Everybody, you can go online and you can look at this document. It's a new document. It's less than 1 year. It's still a relatively new document, and organizations need to adopt this document because it really spells out what the real ESG is. This is not ESG from a consultant's perspective. This is ESG from the international organization that has developed more than 25,000 standards for the world. That's what it is. So if your organization says we're doing ESG, right, and you're not implementing and adopting this particular document, then you're probably not really doing ESG. And the document in itself is just like an overview. And it's a free document. You can go download it. It's just like an overview of what you should be doing relative to these three standards: the environment, social, and corporate governance. So I know SDGs usually is government institutions. ESG is typically private institutions. Once again, these are key things. This diagram is directly from that particular document, the IWA 48 document. And as I said, I was privileged to be part of the committee, the global committee that made contributions to that particular document. So if you look at this diagram is directly from it, and it says categorically, right, environment, social, and governance. This is the bedrock of what you're trying to do. How is it that companies, they're doing annual ESG reports and they really cannot say that they've implemented these three standards to a large extent: the environment standard, the social standard, and the governance standards? And each of these things are global documents in themselves. That's why we talk about, are you really doing ESG, or you prefer the appearance of ESG? Is ESG a nice thing to say, to do? Because the environment is the one that that talks about climate, and that talks about how we do waste management and every other thing around our carbon footprint. But that's just a portion, because people also think that the whole of ESG is about the climate. But there's a social side to it. Some of the people also think that being corporate social responsibility, which is the social side to it, is everything about ESG. And that's not true. Some of the people also think that ESG is just something that you do at the board level, and the lawyers think that ESG is primarily about 37001, which is corporate governance, something you put in your code of conduct, something you put in as a board agenda, or something that you discuss when you're having the annual general meeting. But it's beyond that. The global thing is that you're meant to be focused on the three portions of ESG: the environment, the social context, and even governance. All right. So if you really have to go back and think through these things as an organization and start to ask yourself, am I really doing these things? I was speaking with somebody recently, and the person was telling me that, oh, I'm focusing on sustainability. I said sustainability can mean two different things. There is a sustainability from the SDG side, which is usually very government related, because the owner really of sustainability is the federal or the national, the state or provincial, all right, and the local government. They are the real owners of SDGs. Now, how we contribute to SDGs really is meant to be from the ESG perspective. And this particular IWA, if you break it down, this is it. And if you look at the whole of 2 on my screen, you'll see that that's environmental. If you look at the whole of 3, you'll see that that's social. If you look at the whole of 4 on my screen, you will see that that is pretty much around corporate governance. You cannot do ESG without number 2, without 3, and without 4. Not one versus the other. And I think every private institution, it doesn't matter whether it's a bank, it's an insurance company, it doesn't matter what the organization does. I think all of all of us need to really do this number 2 and number 3, adopt this particular standard in itself. Once again, there's a specific ISO standard for environment, and everything climate, everything carbon emission, all those types of things, they all come here under this place. There's a specific standard for corporate social responsibility. And what you and I can contribute as organizations. And there's a specific standard for corporate governance. Once again, remember that I said as an organization, our job is ISO standards relative to these things. All right. So pretty much that's it from me. I'm happy to take your thoughts, your questions, and your opinion. Hoping that with NIIA, we would organize a masterclass, a 5-day masterclass. We're going to do it literally at little or no cost. We'll probably discount the whole thing by, I don't know, maybe 50, 60, 70%, depends on the conversation we end up having with NIIA. We'll decide on the month. We'll see if a lot of people are really going to be interested in this, where we can do a deep dive. Each of those days is 6 days. This is like a 30-hour training where we're really going to look at SDGs. And this is for people who are going to be people who really are interested in this. We're going to look at SDGs, and it's a certification training. It's not a training with a certificate of attendance. This is a deep training that goes through all this. I'm not the only one that takes it. All sorts of experts in all these areas are also going to be coming. It's a joint session that we're going to be planning with NIIA, and hopefully it will work and we can get this internal as part of this. And of course, this in itself will come free to the employees of NIIA in themselves. This will be free for the employees of NIIA and a significant discount to the members and to the community at large, where we're going to do a deep dive. As I said, each day is about 6 hours of real training, and there is an extensive, in fact, there are 2 exams. There's the foundation exam and there is the practitioner exam here. In fact, there are actually 3 different exams that all of us will have to take. There is the foundation exam, and then there's the practitioner from 2 perspectives, and it's an accredited training in there, and we definitely look forward to having everybody as part of it. This is myself. I'm not sure which one is more handsome, whether it's this person that is here or it's me, whether the picture of myself and our organization is A4S. So I'll bring this to a beautiful close here. I'm happy to take your thoughts, your opinion, and your comments as we bring this to a close. Lastly, we're having a summit. And it's a free summit. It's not a paid summit. And the NIIA is also going to be one of our partners for this particular summit. This year, we're doing it at the end of October, and it's the same conversations we're going to be driving, the same ESG and SDG conversations that we're going to be driving. And we've also done a lot already on YouTube and all that relative to these things. My colleague will share, they will share the links in the chat room. Once again, I will share these reports. I'll share this presentation in the general chat, and I'm grateful to everybody, Merlin and the professors and every other person that works with the Institute, and those of you that have taken out of your very busy schedule to attend. Thank you very much, and it's our pleasure to have been able to deliver this with the Institute in itself. Thank you very much. I'm happy to take your thoughts, to take your opinion, and to take your questions now as it is. Thank you once again, everyone. Okay, all right. Good. Anybody?
Thank you, Dr. Orlando.
You can switch on your mic. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I did type, Marlene here. I did type a question in the chat box, but let me just read it out since I have this opportunity.
Oh, I've seen it. You said what's the difference between ESG and CSR?
Yeah.
Oh, but
many corporate organizations use CSR.
Oh no, I've already spoken about that. So if you look in here, let me come back here. The CSR is what is number 4, everybody. CSR, and there's a global standard for that. It's day 4 in this training.
Oh, I see. So it's just one aspect of the ESG.
Absolutely.
So a company is going to be forced to upgrade to this standard. Is this something that the corporate organizations have to upgrade to, or you can just sit with your CSR at your level anywhere you are?
if you want to do things, people are already doing CSR, but they're just not taking the global standard into consideration. So my advice and guidance to organizations is that if you really want to take your CSR initiative as an organization to the next level, adopt this particular standard. It's the same thing when you want to take your environmental management to the next level of maturity, adopt the environmental standard. If you want to take corporate governance, which you, a lawyer, and other lawyers know about, and you want to do it in line with international standards, adopt this particular standard. That's the idea.
Oh, I see. Thank you very much.
Good. Any other thoughts? Any other opinion as we bring this to a beautiful close? Anybody? Anybody at all? You can switch on your mic. You can type in the chat room, whatever works for you.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, good morning. This is Akodo Taiwo. I'm a research fellow at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs.
Yes, sir.
I have a comment. I think the idea of numbering is not about being linear. When you said the SDG goal 1, you think the 16 should be 1 for Nigeria. I think the idea about the numbering is not linear, because if you truly look at it, can there be justice? Can there be peace for somebody that is hungry, for instance? You have not eaten, and you are talking about justice and peace to me. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I think I should eat first. And again, if you look at the pyramid of, I don't know, this pyramid of satisfaction, that what comes to man first in terms of, priorities. So, you see, it's not about being linear. You have to look at it holistically about this going. So it's not about looking at one should come first or the other should go next, because one without the other is actually nothing. Again, I would like to also say that most African countries see these SDGs as conduits. There's no ownership, true ownership of these goals. You see, it's easy for these countries to go to this international organization and say, okay, we are working on this aspect of SDG. Please, we need loans, we need funds to do these things. And okay, yes, let's see your progress report on this thing. Then they show something. It's just pretensions. Being hypocritical about these goals. There's no true ownership, and it's also reminiscent of how we take ownership of some of the, for instance, manifestos of some of our leaders. Nobody goes back after the campaign cycle to say, this man has said he will do this. What has he done about it? Nobody goes. We are just, happy to go to the next election to say, okay, what do we have again for us?
Right.
So these are the issues we should be talking about the ownership of these ideas, rather than, say that, okay, what is the progress report? But there's no progress actually concerning some of these things. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Taiwo. I like that's why I'm hoping that we'll be able to organize this course jointly, because these are the kinds of thoughts and the opinion that I like as it is. You said that, number one, you don't think it's linear. That's because you're a practitioner, you're a professional in this particular area. The common man who looks at this makes an assumption that it is linear. So I agree with you that the execution or the implementation does not have to be linear. But if you look at it, the common person just makes an assumption that these things are linear. That's number one. And then number two, when we talk about peace, justice, and strong institutions, it's the entire governance. And maybe I also have a challenge with some of the naming conventions here. Once again, if you look at housing and accommodation, the way they buried it under some portions under 9 and some portions under 11, I think something like that is so much of a big deal in Africa to even subsume it in some of these places as it is. So when we talk about governance and rule of law, and we talk about just ensuring that elections and those kinds of things, that we elect the right people, because if we don't elect the right people, those people will then ensure that it's the wrong people that are driving education, health, and things like that. And that's why I said number 16, for me, should be priority number one. As I said, the things I've said and my opinion, they're not the word of God. They're just my own thoughts. And I'm hoping, once again, just like your question and also what Merlin has been able to discuss, saying that, oh, people are mixing CSR with ESG and things like, how should we really go around these SDGs? I'm hoping, and since this is NIA, all NIA employees and staff, this is a free training and certification for all of you. We're hoping that we'll be able to get members of the community and stakeholders who will then come in as a discounted fee. These conversations, these thoughts, and this opinion is what all of us will be discussing when we get into that training, if it ever does happen as it is. But I'm hoping it will. So once again, Mr. Taiwo, I love your passion. I love the way you approached it. Hopefully, we can work together to ensure that this will materialize in itself. Thank you, sir. Okay, good. Any other thoughts and opinion as we bring this to a beautiful close? All right, Richard, I agree with you. I agree with you. As it is, Philippa also. Richard, I agree with you. Philippa, exactly. It's like, so. Once again, SDGs and ESGs are these things that we're doing. Just, there's no real ownership, and part of that ownership conversation, everybody, is why I also put this up. Part of that ownership conversation is why I said that, who owns a lot of these things and who are we meant to be working with to ensure? So if you look at this, what's the entity that is in charge? Because none of these things sits in isolation. There is an entity, there is a defined ministry, directorate, an agency that owns each of these things. What are they doing relative to this? Because the SDG office is meant to be ensuring that there is involvement and alignment as it is. And then there's meant to be an overall rating. As I also said, I think some of the data sets that they use for some of these things are very questionable data sets in themselves. Once again, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. I don't know if any other person has any thoughts and any opinion. I'm grateful to the Institute for making this happen. I know that we haven't gotten the number of people that we're hoping that will come in, but this definitely is the first step, and we're going to put this on YouTube. Maybe when we share it with people will be a bit more interested in all the other future engagements. So once again, from my dear self and my team, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Melanie, please, over to you. Thank you.
Once again, Dr. Orlando, thank you for a fantastic job. Very lucid presentation. I didn't have to struggle to follow. Very lucid. Thank you so much. We're grateful. I see many of my colleagues here, but unfortunately, the membership turnout was a bit low. So I think that's what we have to work on from our end at the NIIA. But I think this is something that I'm just hearing about. It is novel and something that people need to learn and implement, the sustainability of it all speaks for itself. So thank you, Dr. Orlando. Thank you, Labake. We look forward to having subsequent meetings with you. And on behalf of the Director of Studies, the DG, let me start from there, Professor Elusa Sadai, and the Director of Studies, Professor F.M. Ubi, I want to say thank you so much, sir, to you and your team. We look forward to having this partnership in the nearest possible future. Thank you once again.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great remaining part of your day. Thank you. And
Thank you. Bye-bye.
yes, okay, thank you. Cheers, everyone.